Back to the Eastern Cape now, where dozens of people have been evacuated in Kariega and Kariega as floods hit part of the province. The Nelson Mandela Bay Metro is one of the hardest hit areas, with community members now being accommodated in schools and in churches. In KwaNobuhle, access to drinking water has been cut off because the local plant is flooded. Several roads have also been closed to traffic. Now, the Nelson Mandela Bay Acting Executive Director for Safety and Security, Mr. Shadrack Sibiya, joins us live now with an update. Mr. Sibiya, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I believe various distress calls have also come in from residents needing assistance. Talk to us about the calls that are being made and the incidents that are being reported.
Yes, good morning. We did operate Joint Operational Center throughout the night, where we have received all this distress call. And not only that, we have our officers on the ground, especially from disaster management, and we have our fire and emergency rescue, who actually have gone around the areas and assisted most of the community members. That is ongoing. We have just sourced 2 more vehicles from our infrastructure and engineering, and we are using those trucks to make sure that we assist everybody that is affected.
Yeah, I mean, explain the extent of the damage visually, what you're seeing. I'm talking about water levels and infrastructure damage that we're likely to see or perhaps already have seen.
Not so much because some of the damages we have experienced in the previous flood of the 1st of June this year. So they actually were trying to still repair that, since we were waiting for the funding from the National Treasurer. Now, it is not very easy to actually say this has been damaged now, but our infrastructure and engineering are trying very hard to make sure that they clear all the areas and the drainage, which seem to have been a problem in this instance.
Just talk to me around the road closures that I know that are being reported, because I think that particularly around this time, you've got people that are perhaps wanting to make their way to work and school. What's the message there about how they do so in the area?
There are several roads which we would, in due course, send to all residents. And maybe if I had it now, it's because I'm using my cell phone to actually talk to you. It is on my cell phone. So as soon as we get hold of that, we are going to surely distribute to everybody.
Yeah.
I know there are areas where roads have been closed because of the flooding.
Okay, and I've got that list of road closures, and I'll repeat them for the sake of our viewers. But to give us, what the message is right now from disaster around what residents should be doing on the roads. I mean, there's something to be said about needing to remind people not to cross large bodies of water with their vehicles.
The first advice is, if it is not necessary, you have to stay in-house. And if you have to go out, you need to exercise caution. And don't underestimate the level of the water, because you might think it's just a little water, but it may be a hole where you can actually even drown. And keep kids in-house. If you're driving, don't depend or rely on when they say 100 kilometers and you drive 100. Try and exercise caution.
Yeah, and I think lastly, let's talk about those that have been displaced and are being kept in schools and churches. I mean, the numbers that you've got at this point, perhaps, of how many people have been displaced in the area?
I can surely say in Kariega we have in excess of 100. And we are counting, and we are still trying to evacuate some of the residents, but I can confirm it's in the excess of 100 as we speak.
Yeah. And aid that's necessary at this time?
So aid, those who are actually displaced, and we have actually them in the shelters or the halls or churches, we are going to provide them with bare necessities like blankets, mattresses, and most probably I will try and provide warm food from our donors. We are working with SASSA and social development.
Well, we really appreciate the update, and we'll, of course, keep checking in with things. A quick reminder that various roads in the Nelson Mandela Bay area have been closed. Some of them, Alistair Miller, Lal Rosh, Medina Street, Kariega Durban Road, Boysons Park, Strandford Road, Klein School, Rensburg, Willow Dam, Bethelsdorp, Bertram, and Perseverance crossing amongst some of them. So please do be safe on the roads there. And thank you so much to our guest there, who is, of course, Mr. Shadrack Sibiya, Acting Executive Director for Safety and Security.